Welcome guys, we're here. It's Insta Live. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. And remember, persistence beats resistance. So right now we're just gonna wait a little bit, get some people to come in. Get some people in. Waiting on some folks. Oh, a lot of boxes on. One second. Hope everyone's okay. Everyone's doing well. Had a lot of great boxing on last night. Hope you all enjoyed it. Just waiting for people to come up in the room. So yeah, just waiting for people to come up in the room right now. Shout out to those already inside. I will shout you out in a second. Just waiting for more people to come up in here, and then we'll get it cracking. See what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know how you're living. We had big fights last night. All women's card. Caroline Dubois, Lauren Price, Crystal Artist. Oh, her last name always confuses me. But of course we had the two main events. Michaela Meyer versus Alycia Baumgardner. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. We had Devin Haney versus George Kambosos 2 back in Australia again. In Melbourne we had Brock Jarvis versus Liam Perro as well, early in the afternoon, like midday on Saturday. That was serious. That was a one-round blowout, boy, and everyone got that one wrong. Had Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. We had Anthony Durrell versus Caleb Plant. Right, let's see who's up in here. 1 second. Shout outs to Iddy Beck, GP, Rafi Richardson, Ade 26. Shout out Hillbro Industries, Broden the Devil. Shout out. Who else is it? Connor Wright. Shout out Wave Pinero. Yep. Has Rajip. Big ups. Miss SNM. Big ups. Evening. Connor Wright. Real Niger chick. Shout out to you. Connor Wright says the undercard below the Mayor Baumgardner yesterday was a joke. Not even one remotely competitive matchup. But come on, we knew that though. The main money got pushed into the two main fights. We kind of knew that though. Let's keep it a buck. You know, there was about 5 non-televised fights anyway. So 5 of the shows before it even got onto TV, there was like four or five fights, because I was there obviously working there. Shout out, yes, Huss, big ups. I'm loving what you're doing with the ring announcing, big in the game. Loving the come up, man. Loving the ascendancy. Yes, NBPR Co, big ups. Diamond Hood Grown, shout outs. Yes, SNM. Okay, so we're going to get into the main card of the women's boxer show at the O2 Arena last night. So we had Michaela Meyer versus Alycia Baumgardner in a unification fight for the WBC, IBF and WBO titles with the Ring magazine. Yes, Diamond Hood Grown. The card yesterday was awesome. Yes, it was. Awesome sauce. I like that. So that was terrific. Now, when Alycia Baumgardner come out, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She did a little whine down the ramp. She was, I don't know what the name of that song was. I haven't heard that song before. She had this kind of Amazing Grace type sounding song as the intro, and then she broke out into some hip hop tune, but I don't know what the name of that song. I'm gonna have to Shazam it, or if somebody knows the name of it up in there, they can give me that song. But yeah, she had the energy. She came full of confidence. Like, yeah, she was definitely on that anointed one vibes. Yeah, big up Alycia, loving the energy. Yeah, she rattled Michaela Meyer big time. And because what was interesting this week was Michaela Meyer was getting really wound up and angry, whereas last time when it got cancelled that week, it was Alycia going off, swearing a lot, getting mad, strong handshakes, just looking amped. And then this week it was Michaela just acting all angry, talking over Alycia, saying, you shut the F up, and trying to go for this tiptoeing push thing and throwing kicks, and it was like, what's up? This is total role reversal, whereas Alycia this week stayed calm. So it's like that 5 weeks kind of it's like she was training mentally to stay calm, stay composed, whereas Michaela just kind of got rattled. She kept talking about this IBO belt. I don't know what significance that is, why she was getting so upset about Alycia carrying around the IBO belt. It's not like it's what is she trying to, I don't know if she was trying to say she's a paper champion, but she couldn't really because she had the WBC. So yeah, that kind of, then she was saying don't be racist, because Alycia said, you horse face Karen looking girl or whatever. And then obviously when at the weigh-in now, when Michaela's gone for the kick, then she wrote on Twitter, horses always kick. I was dying. I was like, that was mad. That was funny. But yeah, the entrances were big. Even Michaela Myers, once she come out with the Spice Girls theme thing, had the dancers. Having a good time. I ain't gonna sing it, but yeah, you all know the Spice Girls thing. Shout out to Xavier Miller. Big ups. How's it going? Anyone want to come in and talk about yesterday's fights? You're more than welcome, or you can listen to me go through what happened. So yeah, if in the first couple rounds now, this is Michaela Meyer and Alycia Baumgardner. Alicia's, moving around, showing athleticism, doing a lot of feints, using the counter, chopping right as FFL. What does that mean? Oh, Fight Fan Live. Yeah, big ups, man. Yeah, chopping right says Michaela Meyer's coming in. Michaela's trying to establish her jab, but she wasn't really effective. Alycia Baumgardner took those rounds. I say Michaela kind of got into it around the 4th, 5th, 6th, was taking the middle rounds, using good effective jabs, whereas Alycia needed to start getting a bit more versatile, because then she started to become a bit too predictable with that chopping right, which took out Terry Harper. So I was thinking, you need to vary it up. You need to vary your attacks, man. Stop looking for the counter. Stop looking for that pull chop counter. Like, you need to make an attack like the 1-2s right there. You need some kind of offensiveness. So then it's got to about where it was like round 8. She took the last 3, like round 8 and 9. She started using some combinations up in there. Even I think in the 6th she did, but it wasn't enough though. But in the back end she started using the combinations, started to tee off on Michaela a bit, and that's what kind of got her over the line. The crowd was, and it seems that people who was watching on TV, they seem to score or have Michaela Meyer up, but then I also heard that the commentary team was biased towards Alycia Baumgardner. Xavier Miller, Alycia won that 7-3 or 6-4. I don't know where the robbery talk. Yeah, I don't know where it come from either, man. Real Diamond Hoodgrown, real boxing might be back. Felt good last night. Yes, Hanno, Coach Corner. Yeah, the thing is, people are saying robbery, but why would they want to rob Michaela Meyer? You have to remember, Alycia Baumgardner And the reason why the commentary would be biased, of course it would be, if Alicia's Baumgardner's come over from DAZN Matchroom, yeah. She's fighting on a boxer show for Ben Shalom, which is in conjunction with top rank Bob Arum. Now we know that Bob Arum hates Eddie Hearn with a passion, and boxer's not going to be on, you know, Matchroom's not going to be on boxer's Christmas wish list, is it? So Alicia's come over, took in a chance again, on an away show basically. It's all built up for Michaela Meyer. She's talking about she wants to go undisputed and then go over to and fight, what's her name, Katie Taylor, in the weight above. So of course the commentary is going to be biased for Michaela Meyer, and they're not going to give credit to Alicia's attacks and landings and Sal and, you know, all that kind of skill set, because she's the op, she's the away fighter, you know. So you have to take that into account. But I think Alycia, when you check the CompuBox stats, you see she landed the more power punches, she landed the more telling shots, which landed to effects. Yes, Michaela Meyer landed more jabs, but, you know, landing more jabs doesn't win you a fight if you're getting outlanded in power punches, but which, you know, power punches trumps jabs. It's just like in MMA. You could be landing some good strikes or whatever in stand-up, but if someone takes you down, that trumps the strikes. That's just how it goes. So a lot of people in boxing, what it is, they don't have an education on the scoring system and on what is the criteria of what trumps what is the blackjack. Is there a twos on jacks? What, you know, what does the king do? What does the 8 do? Does it reverse? Does it make you miss a go? You've got to know the rule. But even when you're fighting in America, you've got to know how certain states operate, what they like, what's their criteria. Some states prefer the man who just comes forward throwing a lot of, man or woman coming forward throwing a lot of punches. Some states like those who are, you know, more slick and defensive and show ring generalship, and others like those who are more accurate, throwing less punches but are more accurate and pinpoint and more power punches. So you've got to know where you're fighting and what kind of criteria you're up against. Who is it? Sorry. Sorry, let me go back. I'm missing some of the comments. Sorry, guys. Aussie, if you're still live at 8 past 10, I'll jump on. Got to put the kids to sleep. Want to discuss Mayor Baumgardner with you. I'm not sure if I will be, but if I am, then feel free to come on. Love how Alycia, she has no interest in a rematch. Great energy. Well, if there weren't no rematch clause, then, you know, yeah. Because she wanted Troy all along, remember. She wanted to actually go for Michaela Meyer last because she knew that was the money fight, whereas Troy's not really a big name. So she thought, go for Troy first. Then she has 2, and Meyer has 2, and then they get it on. But Meyer was like hell-bent on getting her now. I think she was saying that she didn't want to stay at 130 any longer, so I'm sure she'll move up now because she is very tall. Diamond Grown, because you know UFC is killing the game, killing the boxing game, but last night all that drops. I wouldn't say UFC is killing boxing. You see, this is the perception some people need to understand. Why do you say UFC is killing boxing? Let's keep it a buck now. Shall we break down UFC? Let's keep it a buck tonight. Okay. UFC, MMA, UFC. Okay. Why is it killing boxing? What? Because you say the best fight the best. Okay. Well, the talent pool is not deep in UFC, for one. For two, UFC keeps reloading the dryer. Every card is the same fights. This one number 2. This one that versus that one number 3. When's the last time Israel Adesanya faced somebody he hasn't actually fought before? Every fight he's having is a rematch. Usman, he's fighting this. Look, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. That was number 2. They're going for number 3. Masvidal versus such and such twice. It's always reloading the dryer. They keep reloading the dryer. No fresh fights, no new material, not keeping it fresh and funky. So how is UFC killing boxing when all they do is reload the dryer? Their cards are always reloads. Their main events and co-mains or whatever, the main's always a reload. It's not this one, that one, number 2. This one, that one, number 3. This one, that one, number 4. You're just fighting the same guy over and over again. So you're not killing the game. You're not killing boxing because you're not keeping it fresh and funky. I'm just seeing the same fight over and over again. Come on, man. When's the last time Israel Adesanya fought someone fresh? Come on, man. Where's the new guys? Where's the up-and-comers, man? You know what I mean? Even my boy Aljamain Sterling, my other Jamaican guy, Peter Yan, that's number 2. See what I'm saying? It's always number 2. Even my boy Leon Edwards, number 2, going for number 3 in March. See what I'm saying? Come on, man. About killing the game. It's reloaded in the dryer, man. Recycled. When boxers come back during the later rounds, people assume they're winning rather than looking at the whole fight objectively. Of course, just because you win a couple of the last rounds, you got to take, for instance, we're going to go into Clarissa Shields next. Now, she came out on bolts. Oh my God. Do I like YouTube boxing? Oh, I don't really care. It's all right, but we're not here for that. NBPR Co. See, this I can agree with because you are right. I think later on in the fight last night, I found myself giving rounds to Maya for throwing, more interested of Alycia for the power. Yeah, just because you're throwing don't mean you're landing, man. That doesn't win fights. Big up Alfie Clegg, one of the best pure boxers in the UK. Yeah, he's a good boxer, man. I look forward to seeing him on the Black Box Global show. What you call it? Boxing High shows again real soon. So on to Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Now, the entrance was sick. She come out. Well, let's go on to the Savannah Marshall's one. I like that one because she had the soldiers with the drums and stuff paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth II. So that was good. She had a classic song, "Real Dreams Were Made Up Here." That was good. I like that song. That was a good song. A good entrance theme. You know what I mean? Very fitting for her. She had the crowd roaring 20,000. You looked around, you see people up in the gods, in the nosebleeds. Yeah, it was real packed, full packed, real packed. It was awesome, man. Ben Shalom did a great job. Tapped into a new demographic of fans. Lots of women in there, lots of kids, like girl kids. So yeah, tapped into a whole new audience, and this didn't disappoint to say the least. Clarissa Shields come out to some American thing looking like the woman version of Apollo Creed by a real USA patriotic hard. Yes, Miss Art, tell the dank. Thank you very much. Yes, Alfie Clegg, big up. If UFC is killing boxing, then why are boxers making more money? Exactly, Xavier. Talk to these people. UFC killing the game. These men are dying. These men are making monkey nuts, man. Reloading the dryer. That's why they're reloading the dryer, man, and they're still not making no money. I think so because they Connor in person isn't a real. I don't know what you meant there, but yeah. So Alicia's, Clarissa Shields has come out now, real American, you know, coming out, did some dance routine with her dancers, choreographed, and she come down. It's all fireworks and sparklers for all the entrances. It looked real good. Then the national anthems come on. It's the first time I've heard it sung live, God Save the King, so I was waiting for the drop, but that was a real good singer, who I forgot her name, but she was a real good singer. Then the American national anthem come on. The British fans, man, you need to come on, man. I know you want to be supportive, but you can't be just booing and just shouting and jeering the next person's national anthem like that. So I could see on Clarissa's face, she kept composed, but I could think she was thinking, rah, the disrespect I'm going to show these people, you know. And I see her pull out the T-Rex snarl. She's like, I was like, okay. First round's gone. She's come out on volts, like smoke, venom. She came out on T-Rex mode. Forget the quote thing. She came out on the original T-Rex mode. And as I said, this is why I keep telling people why I'm the master aficionado. I said she is going to come to her and back her up and let them. And she was letting her have it. You saw that first round. She was lighting Savannah up. Lighting her up. She got, the distress. Oh my God, the distress. The distress. Come on. Let's keep it a buck. You saw it. people saying, oh, so Clarissa's going to get knocked out, Clarissa's going to get knocked out. Or the ones who said, oh, she could get it on points, but she's just going to run away and nick it. Run away and nick it. Where was the run and nick it? Where was the run and nick? I told you what she was going to do. I told you she was going to move to her. Just like she did in the amateurs. But she always backs people up. People keep saying she ain't got power. She does. Because no one walks through the shots. And she's always backing the people up. As I said, her only issue is she needs to learn how to finish when she has someone hurt. Yes, she didn't have Savannah in major trouble where it was any kind of finishing predicament, but she definitely hurt her, backed her up, hurt her. The body shots was getting to her. That slowed her right down and took some of the power out of her sails. Diamond grown, hood grown. I am just saying, it's good to see boxing is coming back. Wilder's back, bomb squad. Boxing's always been here, never left. Shields ringwalk, legendary. Xavier Shields won that fight 8 rounds to 2. I had it 8 rounds to 2. I'll give it 7-3 at a push, because the 9th could have gone either way. But let's just say I give it to Savannah, because either way, let's give it to the home fighter. So 9-3 at best. It was no 6-4 and certainly not 5-5. So yeah, lit her up in the first round. Second round, again, I had it 5-0 at the end. Let's just cut the long story short. I had her 5-0 up. The first round I gave to Savannah was round 6, because Clarissa seemed to slow down, started trying to do a bit of the rope. But even when Clarissa, even in the early rounds, was going to the ropes, she was doing it as a baiting tactic, because every time Savannah came in, Clarissa would start throwing counter hooks, counter combination hooks and stuff like that. So very Mayweather-esque, rather than the pull counter straight, right? She was using the hooks around the corner, and this is what I mean. And what she was doing is staying on the inside, even when she's coming forward, making sure she stayed close to Savannah. Because with punchers, when you're dealing with punchers, the last thing you want to do is be on the end of that punch. Do not let them get hyperextension on the shot. Do not let them get hyperextension, because when they catch you on the end of a shot, that's where the most power is. When they're in close, most punchers, they can't generate that power when they're in close. You know, when they're squared up, is when they've proper lined you up and caught you right on the end of the full extension. And Savannah has long arms, so when she catches you on the end, you're gonna feel that. Trust me. That's what bust Clarissa's eye in round 6, and she was like, "Yeah, from round 6, I'm gonna see from 6 to 10, because she hits hard." So yeah, you're gonna feel it. And she was very alert, eyes making Savannah miss enough. It was like, listen. Shout out to my elders, Tunde and Spencer, the master knowledge, the master genius, and obviously I'm the master aficionado. But last night I have to call Clarissa Shields master class, because that's the performance she's put on. Would you agree? Let us know in the comment section. So yeah, then I gave Savannah round 6 and 7. I gave Clarissa 8. 9 was a swing, but let's just go with Savannah. And then 10, clear Clarissa. I forgot what the cards were. Peter Fury and even Coogan was saying, oh, 7-3 is wide. But okay, how can 7-3 be wide? Too wide, and don't know what they're seeing. Okay, so what are you saying? Because if you change just one round, if it's not 7-3, then it means it's 6-4. And 6-4 means you're only giving Clarissa the fight by 1 round. Because if you change it, because you've got to remember, when you take one, you lose one. This is how it goes. There's no such thing of you're going to end up with a 6-5 in a 10-round fight. It doesn't work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's either 10-0. Look, I'm going to break it down for you guys. It's either 10-0, 9-1, 8-2, 7-3, 6-4, or a draw. That's it. 5-5. 10-0, 9-1, 8-2, 7-3, 6-4, or 5-5. So if you're saying 7-3 is mad wide, then what are you saying? Are you saying it should have been 6-4? Because then you're saying Clarissa just won it by 1 round. Because if you're saying, oh, I gave 2 more rounds to Savannah than a 7-3 score, because that's wide. Because wide, not oh, just thought it was a little closer. Wide, then that means you've got it 5-5 or Savannah winning. So let me know how it is. This is how you got to think, guys. When you're scoring fights, remember how to score it. If it ain't 8-2, then it's going to be 7-3. If it ain't 7-3, then it's going to be 6-4. Do you know what I'm saying? Then if it's not 6-4, then it's a draw. That's what I'm saying. And even in a 12 round fight, do the same thing. When you take one, you lose one, because it's 10-9 must system. So if you're giving one person a 10 round, then you've got to give the person the other one a 9. More times than not. Very rarely will we, put a 10-10 a 10-10 score on a round. Even when you do think it's 10-10, you tend to just you got to give it to somebody on something more times than not. So just bear that in mind when you're scoring fights, guys, or when people start talking about wide how? Because if it ain't 7-3, then what? It's 6-4. Because remember, 7-3 just means she won it by 2 rounds. Really? 7-3 just means she's won it by 2 rounds. Because if it's 6-4, then she's won it by 1 round. 2 points, but 1 round. Because if you don't do it 6-4, then it's a draw. It's 5-5. So just bear that in mind, yeah? And tell people that. Remember, I told you, the Master Aficionado. NBPR. And let me know what you think in the comment section about that. Agreed. Xavier Miller. Rewatch Shields Marshall today. I only gave it 8-2. Could have 9-1. Oh, 9-1. Oh, that's oh. What round was that you gave her? Because I gave Savannah 6 and 7 clear. 6 and 7 clear, man. Shout out October Red. Raw 9-1. I'm seeing a couple 9-1s up in here. Raw. Okay, shout out Pugilist Boy. Big ups. How's it going? Yeah, talking about the last night's fights. I've gone over Alycia, my side piece, Baumgardner, and Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. Then we move on to Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Well, actually, let's talk about Liam Perro versus Brock Jarvis. Now, everyone was thinking Brock Jarvis was going to win, mainly because of the fact he's very exciting, stops guys. Even though he's come up through a few weights, he looked bigger than Liam Perro, and we've seen him quite a few times on the zone, whereas most of us, including myself, has never seen Liam Perro fight before. He's Australian, so it was a domestic clash out in the Down Under. Come out first round, looking at each other, whatever. They've got to work. Next minute, Liam Perro started landing shots. Then he's like hitting with a right hook, stepped across, and then whipped in the left hook, the arching left, which was it was the same kind of shot and angle that Manny Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton with, and Ricky Hatton went down the exact same way, that kind of thing. The only difference is Ricky Hatton was actually just laid stretched out, kind of like Robert Lanius, whereas Brock Jarvis tried to get up but was on a Trevor Berbick vibe and got up and fell over like 2-3 times, and it's like the ref really wanted to let him go, but it was just too silly, where it's just like, no, come on, he's fallen over too many times now on this knockdown. He's just not beating that 10 count, buddy. So just allow it. So that was that. Yeah, boxing never left. Come on, pugilists, tell these people. Ms. SNM. I think women's boxing was 3 minutes. I think we might see more knockouts than we have at the moment. Possibly, but then it wouldn't be as frantic and ferocious. You'd see more. Might be slower pace, more timing. I think it's exciting. I think it's good. It's good to keep it this format for now. You know what I mean? Whilst you're drip feeding the public, do you know what I mean? Because we're still trying to sell it. Do you know what I mean? We're still trying to sell the product to the general public. Do you know what I mean? It was at 9-1 or 8-2. Shout out Adrian. Yes, big up Caleb Jensen. Right, everyone's coming in now. Last night card was one of the best cards in a few months in boxing, ever since last Canelo fight. Okay. Big up Tyler Denny. yeah, so we had, so yeah, Alycia Baumgardner, Clarissa Shields, USA, they done it. They took over. I'm seeing, you know, Black Girl Magic, Black History Month in the UK. I remember some woman was shouting it out in the at the weigh-in, and it was funny because she was shouting it, but Clarissa, I don't think she kind of understood. So, but then there was another woman saying something, and then Carissa's like, "You know it," and started getting angry, like it's like she didn't get what the woman was saying. She's like kind of shouting at the woman. Sometimes Clarissa needs to, but I think she struggles with the UK accents anyway. She has admitted that. Yes, big up Adrian Redman. So that was funny, and but yeah, on to Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Now, last time out, it was a shutout. This time again, it wasn't much different. It was more of the same. The only thing I will say is, Devin Haney, you need to move up, buddy. I've been saying this for about 18 months to 2 years. Your head's too big for your body. You're looking like Thriller. Shout out off the canvas who got that picture up. He was looking like Thriller. Yeah, you need to allow it. You need to allow it, mate. Your legs are looking mad skinny. You're looking vulnerable. You need to allow it. Just go up. There's fights for you at 140. There's Teofimo Lopez. There's Regis Prograis. There's Jack Catterall. There's O'Hara Davis. That's a good little build up. Josh Taylor, of course. Ryan Garcia, I'm sure, will go up and see you. He's a big enough guy. Javante Davis, he has fought at 140, but I don't think he'll come and see you there. But you've got enough fights. You've got nothing to prove at 135 now. You're undisputed. You've defended it. You've abided by your contract. You've gone to Australia twice. Just move up now, because you're looking unwell, and that will hinder you later in your career. That will take away your longevity if you keep malnutrition in your body. You can try and get these nutritionists and these sports scientists and all this orthopedics, and you see, be careful with these people. It's not always good to keep employing these kind of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Just move up. Like, there's nothing to be worried about. Your skill set will get you through, and you'll be champion up there too. Plus, you want to be a 2-weight world champion, right? So just move up, because you're just looking malnourished and you're not looking healthy, and it's just, and there's no one for you to even fight now anyway. It'll take too long for one of the other guys to want to fight you. So Teofimo, I'm sure he'll want to see you. Regis Prograis will definitely see you. He's a fighting man. He'll always want to fight. I'm sure Josh Taylor will relish that. Jack Catterall, he'll have it. O'Hara Davis, he'll you know, he'll come for you. He'll make a good build up, and he's a good fighter as well. And there's good fights at 140. So yeah. So that was that. Next, we'll go on to Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell, the older brother of Andre Durrell, former WBC champion. It was billed as a kind of 50-50 fight, but Plant really is the favourite. I had him to win on points. I guess most people would have fought Plant on points, or maybe some people from Anthony Durrell, but most people from, I remember the scores on the voting poll, would have had a Plant to win, and I imagine they would have done it by decision, because he's not really noted as a puncher. He calls himself sweet hands, so he's got nice little shots and stuff. And he's billed as a WBC eliminator. So I think the winner was due to fight either Charlo or David Benavidez, I heard. But mainly David Benavidez, because he's more in front for the WBC title in the elimination sequence. So yeah, good even fight. I was flicking kind of back and forth. I've watched the first 4 rounds. Plant was winning on points at that time, and then I flicked over to the Devin Haney thing, because that was kind of on at the same time. I guess that they wanted to get Haney's fight out of the way before Wilder came on. So yeah, then I come back in the 9th, and Anthony Durrell caught Plant with a right hand that kind of wobbled him, and he kind of started letting off on him. So wobbled Plant. Next minute, it's like they're going at it or whatever, and it's normal, back to calmness. And then next minute straight, left hook to the body, left hook to the head. It just went out. It was a shock. I couldn't believe it. The way he went down, out, like recovery position. Caleb Plant started doing this, you know, digging thing. The referee got upset and told him to stop because it looked like he's doing grave digger, but when asked later, he said it meant he's got planted, you know, like a plant in it. Yeah, abbreviation on the word. So I kind of get that. But also, Caleb Plant, he wasn't really happy with Anthony Durrell in the lead up to the fight anyway, as Anthony Durrell did say, you know, he was getting real animated and swearing and stuff. And then he also made the cardinal sin. I don't know why fighters keep doing this. I remember when Alan Minter and some white fighters have said, "I'll never get beat by a black man." They will get stopped or cut to shreds or knocked out. And then when black fighters do it, and they'll never let a white man beat him, and then they get beat. It's just like, why did you say it? It just always happens. Even when the Latino fighters, and Oscar De La Hoya, no black man could take my power, and I'll never get beat by one or whatever. And you get beat by them. So it's just like, why'd you do it? It's just like you're cursing yourself. Bernard Hopkins, it happened to him. Jermaine Taylor, how many, like, he got knocked out by Kelly Pavlik, Carl Froch, Arthur Abraham. So it's like, come on, buddy, allow it, bruv. Then Bernard Hopkins beat by Calzaghe, knocked out on his head, even though he was an old man. Or beat by Kovalev, knocked out by Joe Smith Jr. So it's like, come on, just don't say it. Just allow it. So yeah, he got flattened. Anthony Durrell, I think he's finished. Starter, yes, Blake, just bring you in on some good boxing talk with my boy. What you think of Haney, Harley Ben, bro? Do you rate him? It's like a small hall kind of fight. I would like him to fight Nathaniel Wilson. That would be good. That would be a good backstory and build up. King Mo, I mean, that would be a good backstory, a good fight. They should have put that on the Ben Eubank card. Had that have came off, but if it does get rescheduled, they should put them two on it. You know, very good story between them, very similar background. So yeah, that'd be really good. And then the last fight I would say is Deontay Wilder. Caleb Plant, after he said he wants to fight either Charlo or Benavidez. You already know. If you see my boy David Benavidez, you know what's gonna happen to you, sunshine. You know what's gonna happen to your buddy. You can eat all that soul food and that little cornbread, but that ain't gonna save you, buddy. That ain't gonna save you when them rice and beans hand starts laying the smack down on you. It starts laying the smack down on you, Caleb. You know what's gonna happen. So what was I gonna say? Shout out Dwayne, Namix Jim, Trite Trowbridge, Fitzbacon. Yeah, so when Wilder now, Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius beating Adam Kaunaki twice. But I predicted that Wilder was going to knock him out. I didn't think first round, but I knew he was going to knock him out because Joe Washington knocked him out, and Johan Dufours, or whatever his name is. I remember he stopped Helenius as well years back, and I remember what's his name, Del Boy Derek Chisora got robbed by him as well back in the day in Helsinki, Finland or whatever. So I said yeah. So, you know, Deontay Wilder moving around the ring, doing what he does. Throwing some kind of wild shots, looked a bit like, you know, needed to shake off some web rust or whatever. But then he kind of backed into corner and walked Helenius into some right, which he didn't even generate power because he was kind of squared up. He kind of bounced off the turnbuckle and hit him with a right on the jaw. But the way he went down and banged his head and his eyes was just open and he's out cold. So it was like the lights are on, but no one's home. And he was just out cold. But I've always said this. Deontay Wilder, he's got some serious plantation power. I'm telling you. It's that serious plantation power. Listen, that's different. That's some soul food kind of power, you know. Like, that's that proper Southerner country boy power. People take country boys for jokes, you know. You think because they got the funny accent and they, you know, they're on the fields and they, you know, they're grafting or whatever and they make, you know, doing their corn and whatever, harvesting. But you mess with them boys will knuckle up. Trust me, them guys know how to fight, and they got some serious power, boy. So yeah, when he hit with that plantation right, I was like, oh my god, just laid him out, stiffened. So I see here some man talking about dive. That weren't no dive. Listen, it was weird how he generated that much power from that angle and that positioning, and he was weighing 240, so the man was like all 40 pounds heavier than him. But he's always dropping these mad heavy guys compared to himself. This is why, pound for pound, he is the hardest puncher in history. He hits harder than Ernie Shavers, because Ernie Shavers, people said, yeah, he hit hard and stuff like that, but he weren't dropping guys like Wilder's dropping guys. He weren't dropping everybody. And most people, they say he hits hard, but then he didn't go down, and then they just beat him up anyway. Deontay Wilder, when we're talking about one punch power, even Mike Tyson, yes, big puncher, but a lot of his things was like the bam, bam, or bam, 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 you know, twos and threes, and that's just, you know, the speed, and then he'll wipe you out. But Wilder is the one hit quitter, like just one hit wonder, hardest puncher in history. I don't see punching like, I ain't seen no one hit wonders like that. Yes, Boss Don, the most honourable. Yazzie boy, big ups. Okay, let's get Ozzy. So yeah, he's saying he wants Usyk or Ruiz next. Deontay Wilder was saying. Just wait for Ozzy. Yes, how's it going, man?
Yes, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, man. All good.
This weekend's boxing's been amazing, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was your highlight?
I have to say the Shields Marshall. I didn't expect them to go to war like they did. Like I expected Maya and Baumgardner's fight to be like that, where they'd go up and trade up but yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. And Shields was just amazing, wasn't she?
So who did you predict to win? Honestly,
Savannah.
by knockout in it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like most of you did. But if you saw my video, the prediction, I said what was going to happen. Even when you remember when I was on the breakdown and me and Bass had that debate on the keys to victory and who's going to win. So I just knew it.
Yeah.
But I can understand why, because Savannah did look very, you know, she looked very impressive in them knockouts. So, but yeah, no, it was a great fight.
Yeah, it was.
Was you at the show?
No. I watched it from home.
Okay.
How did you have Maya Baumgardner? I haven't seen what you said.
Yeah, I had Alycia Baumgardner winning by 2 points.
2 points.
So 2 points. So which is like yeah. So
fair play. I was on the other side. I had Maya winning by. I had it Maya 5, Baumgardner 4, and one of the rounds was a draw.
Okay, but then that draw round, because most times, even though very rarely do you see on them judges' scorecards they give it 10-10.
Yeah.
So if you had to have thrown that 10-10 one way, which round was it? Do you remember what round it was?
I think it might have been the 4th or the 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which way, if you had to have thrown it one way, that swing round, which way would it have gone?
Yeah, I'd probably give it to Alycia, because obviously, like, to me, when I watched the fight, the first round I gave to Maya, the second round I gave to Maya, and then the third I gave to Baumgardner, and then the fourth I gave to Baumgardner. The fifth was the one which I couldn't call. So I'd probably give it to Alycia. So at the end of the fight, like when I was watching it, because I know a lot of, like, some people have come out and said robbery, rah rah rah. I thought it was a close fight. I thought they would give the dub to Maya just because she was the home fighter. Obviously, she's with Sky and stuff like that.
Yeah, Top Rank.
Yeah, in Top Rank. So I was like really surprised that they'd give it to Alycia. Fair play to her. She did what she had to do. I've watched the fight back this morning, but you know my only problem is, sometimes even when you watch a fight back, how you first had it is how you still have it. Do you know what I mean? Rarely have I ever watched a fight back and thought, I was completely wrong. Unless I've, had it a bit to sit. But more time, how you first see it is how you still see it. I've also seen the CompuBox stats today, because obviously Dan's been at me, fam, because obviously he wasn't happy that I said that Maya had won. So he's like, are you sure she's won? And obviously they don't lie. They tell it how it is. And yeah, they showed that she did. I think when I was watching it, some of the successes I was seeing Maya having, I wasn't realizing Baumgardner was getting the counter on her.
Yeah, she was hitting it when she was getting jabbed. She was looping that chopping right. You know that same shot she hit Harper with. She kept hitting her with that
Yeah.
because Maya's defense is non-existent, and it's been non-existent for like a while. Like if you watch that Hamadouche fight, they're just basically hitting each other in the face with no defense.
Yeah.
Like Maya's defense for someone who's a standout amateur and like a former Olympian, her defense is terrible, man.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, she looked pieced up. She got marked up. And you
Yeah,
don't
got
get
cut.
marked up. Yeah. You don't get marked up by not being touched, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she got cut. She got black eye. Cause I saw her afterwards, swollen up face and stuff like that. But even though that doesn't really say if you lost or not, but yeah, she was getting hit with a lot of counter chopping rights and the power shots, because that's where Michaela Mayer won on the jab compy box. But then when you see the power punch numbers, Alycia landed double
Yeah.
power punches, and power punches we know are more significant than a jab.
Yeah.
It's always that way. So yeah, you can see
100%.
why.
I have to say that I was disappointed in that fight because I thought it was gonna, from the build up and everything.
Yeah, you thought it was going to scrap it out.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be kind of Michaela Mayer versus Hamadouche type fight where they're both just standing there trading, but it didn't go off like that. Alycia Baumgardner opted to use more of the boxing bull matador type tactics and try and hit her with counters and show boxing athleticism, kind of like a Bertman kind of style she was using. So yeah, that one didn't go off. And then most people thought if Clarissa was to pull it off, which most people thought Savannah was going to knock her out anyway, but they thought if Clarissa was going to pull it off, she was going to use more of that Alycia Baumgardner style of trying to dart in and out, stay on the outside and duck and dive or whatever. But Clarissa did the complete opposite, which I predicted she would do.
Yeah.
But it was so good to see.
Yeah, 100%. When I was watching that fight, bro, I could not believe what I was watching. I was just like, this is not what I was expecting. Like, I was just there like, rah, like, yeah, I just didn't expect Shields to cope with it the way she coped with it. I do think Savannah, though, she was going in too much. If she'd just slowed down a bit, it would have worked in her favor. Like, as in,
she was too slow in the first place. You can't make her slow down. No, that pieced up even worse.
I mean, the pace. She was like,
no. She has to force the pace. How are you going to tell her slow down the pace? Did you see listen, I'm telling you, especially being there in person, because I've seen Clarissa fight twice. The first time I saw Clarissa fight live, I was at her debut, funny enough, in Vegas versus when she fought Franchon Cruz at the T-Mobile Arena. That was on the Andre Ward versus Kovalev 1 fight. So I've watched her fight live twice, her first fight and her most recent fight. And this fight, the speed of the combinations was like lightning. It was just like, brrr, it was like Mach 10, Mach 11. I was like, this is some Tesla speed, man. Yeah. I was like, yeah, the speed was just amazing on the combinations. And shout out to John David Jackson, because he's a very underrated coach. But I've always rated John David Jackson, and I've spoke to a couple fighters about him, but people ain't really rating. But they're gonna start knowing about John David. I'm gonna have to start talking about him a bit more.
Yeah. That comment about Shields having the answer for everything, she really did. Because even when Marshall put her on the ropes, I was thinking, yo, it's looking a bit like, and she just had the answer for it. She just like came back to her, and I didn't expect her to throw the way she did, because she weren't throwing those fast and not trying to hurt you. She was trying to hurt her back. Do you know what I mean? I didn't expect that. Yeah,
the body shots. And if she was hurting her, she was hurting Savannah, which people think, pillow fist. But I said, when she hits them, they back up.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the finishing touches, but she can hurt everybody because they always back up when she hits them, and they feel it. So yeah, man, that was just amazing. I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
Pugilist says Marshall can't punch fast enough. Well, she couldn't, but Shields, her reflexes, she had cat-like reflexes. She was slipping and sliding, rope and doping. She had serious moves, man. So shout out to her conditioning and her skill set. She had great ring IQ, man. You can't. It was just amazing. It was just amazing for boxing on a whole. I think there wasn't any, real losers at the end of it. Boxing won. The fight fans won. The punters was happy.
How respectful they were after the fight as well. They were very, respectful to each other, and that was nice to see. Do you know what I mean? It's always good to see, like Kambosos, going over to David and being respectful like he was is always good to see. That was another good performance from David. I thought, because a lot of people were saying he looked drained making the weight.
He did. He looked very drained. He needs to move up. He needs to allow it. He needs to lower to 135 and move up to 140 now, because he just looks I've said for a while. Remember, I said his head's too big for his body. His head just move up. It's only £5.
Yeah.
It's not even £7.
Sometimes it's the money, fam. The money in certain weight classes.
But there's money. There's money if he fights Teofimo Lopez, another former undisputed, because he weren't really undisputed. Pugilist likes to. Tony's the big Teofimo fan. Like that's his guy. But I've had to tell him, you're not undisputed if it's disputed, because he didn't win. He had, what did he have? He had that franchise WBC.
Yeah.
He didn't have the proper one. So unless you get the whole Mac, then you didn't really. So there's that fight. There's Teofimo. There's Regis Prograis. There's Josh Taylor, of course. Jack Catterall. O'Hara Davis. So there's fights at 140.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Those fights, though, aren't like the names that you've got at 135, though. That's the issue.
Yeah. Dan Blake says, the quote, who should she fight next? Jonas is calling her out. Natasha Jonas ain't calling her out, is she? Natasha Jonas ain't ready for her. Come on,
Bro,
she knows.
If I was Natasha Jonas, I'd be calling her out. That's a decent payday. That's a good fight.
But I'll tell you what's going to happen. I clocked one girl funny enough, on an accumulator 1 week, and then Base kind of gave me the scoop on it. It's a Canadian woman. So all you guys look out for this woman. So shout out Base the Kid who showed me about this woman called Mary Spencer, from Canada. And she is just knocking out people for fun at 154. And she's now been made mandatory for Terry Harper. So she's going to knock out Terry Harper. She will knock out Natasha Jonas if she ever gets in the ring with her. Clarissa Shields will beat her. Clarissa Shields beat her in the Olympics before as well, funny enough. But yeah, Mary Spencer can punch. She will knock out Natasha and Terry Harper, but Shields will beat her at 154. So I think, the only good fight is the Mary Spencer one at 154. Other than that, I can't really see any challenges unless she waits for someone to rise up. But there ain't no challenges that I know of.
Yeah, that's the only problem in the female division, is there's not enough depth. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they get to the top, there's real good quality, but the depth isn't there.
Yeah, but Clarissa kind of cleaned them all out very quickly.
Yeah.
She didn't have no building fights. So in 13 fights, she's kind of just gone through, like, remember, look at her first fight, as I said, with Franchon Cruz. Franchon Cruz is the undisputed super middleweight, 168 champion. Yeah, so that's someone she beat in her debut. And then when she beat Hannah Gabriels, Hannah Gabriels is now gone up and is now the heavyweight champion. She knocked out someone at heavyweight and is now world champion at heavyweight. So it just shows that Clarissa, she ain't been taking no light steps at all.
Yeah, so it's good to see. What's with Pugilist Boy and his TO takeover? That's his guy, and that's fine, because big up Pugilist Boy. Yeah, big up Pugilist, and I love that. You've got to stick by your guy, because everyone has favorites. I don't like when people, because they get a YouTube channel or they become a journalist, they act like they're so on the fence and impartial and partisan. No, everyone has their favorites. It's like every parent. You have your favorite child. You know what I mean? You don't tell them, but we all do. Do you know what I mean? Let's keep it a buck. So everyone has their favorite fighters. It's like me with David Benavidez. That's my guy. Errol Spence. That's my guy. If he's fighting somebody, people go,
oh, if he, for instance, if Errol Spence was fighting some English guy, the automatic people will think, oh, you're just doing it because he's a brother. No, I'm doing it because he's Jamaican. Because the same reason why I would pick him versus Terence Crawford. Same way I'd pick him if you're fighting Kell Brook. Because I'm sticking with the yard man. When the Mexican man's fighting, the Mexican man ain't going against him. When Amir Khan's fighting, the Asian and Pakistani man, they ain't going to go against him. If Usyk's fighting, I bet you every Ukrainian is sticking with their boy. So I want to stick with my Jamaican guy. It's simple. And Benavidez, I just like the way he fights. So that's my Latino guy. And I guess Teofimo Lopez is a pugilist.
It's a Tio and Tank.
Tank's good, but they're holding him back, man. They're holding him back.
Yeah. Nah, Crawford's my guy still.
Oh no, that's why you got the hairstyle, yeah. The old Crawford stuff.
Nah, Crawford's my done still. No, but to be fair, I do have others that Kell Brook, that was always because he was from Sheffield. Like, do you know what I mean? But that all of the lights and everything, I've had some good nights watching him and that intro and you know what he does. Yeah, it's just no, I agree. People do have their favorites, and you've got to stick with your favorites. It's the same as I agree. You've got to stick with your opinions. Do you know what I mean? That's just that's just what it is.
And make sure when you do have your favorites, if they lose, you stick with your boy.
Yeah.
Don't disown him. You stick with your boy.
Yeah.
That's your boy.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'll still be supporting Marshall in the next fight.
Yeah. And guess what? Pugilist is still takeover. He lost to George Kambosos, and he stuck with him. So you got to respect that.
Yeah.
Just stick with your guys. You know what I mean? Everyone has their favourites, just like football, just like tennis, just like F1, just like rugby, just like any sport. You know what I mean?
Yo, that Wilder knockout, I watched it obviously this morning. I was a bit, I don't know. He doesn't even seem to cut that much power into that punch. Do you know what I mean? So
I know it's weird, but did you hear? Have you watched the thing where you know when someone's like kind of by the ring's apron?
Yeah.
Is that shot? I think I posted it on my story.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, the noise
did
it
you hear
makes.
the punch?
Yeah.
That punch didn't. That punch sounded like he got a lot of power in it, but I don't know how it did.
Yeah, how?
Because that was a proper smacker. But I was like, how did he do that? He like bounced. Plus, he was square. It was weird. I don't know how. I'm telling you, it's all that soul food, man. It's the plantation power, man. That's what I keep saying. That is proper. That is proper. Like, where is he from? Alabama.
Yeah.
That's a proper Alabama slammer, man. That's a proper plantation. I'm telling you.
100%. I know he's supposed to be fighting Ruiz next. How do you see that going?
If he catches Ruiz can go because Ruiz has shown he wobbles a bit, but he does get up. To be fair, but I think if Wilder claps him, if Wilder claps him properly, it could be in the temple especially. I think he'll clap Ruiz on the temple because it's kind of easy to hit him high on the head. And I think he'll go. You know.
Yeah.
I think he'll go.
Yeah. I've watched Ruiz's last couple of fights, like especially that Ortiz one. He was very lucky to win that because he got the knockdowns, but he got outboxed. And if you're getting outboxed by, obviously Ortiz, as old as he is, he did well against Wilder. I think Wilder takes him out. I'm actually interested to see how he'd do against Usyk. There's no point to me. The fourth fight with Fury, there's no point.
No.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'd much rather see him in there with Usyk just to see if he can land that and what he can do. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he beat Usyk easy." I don't think you can say anybody beats anybody easy until they get in the ring because we've all called these fights and got them absolutely wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think that would go against Usyk?
Usyk, well, Usyk's the master boxer, but if Wilder claps him, he ain't going to be taking them punches like he did against AJ.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
But it'll be it'd be probably easier to evade Wilder's punches because Wilder does load him up. But when he throws that 1-2, the straights, when them straights are very fast and accurate. It's when he starts trying to throw hooks is when it just gets a little bit silly.
Yeah.
But you straight shots, oh my god, then that would be very interesting to see. But with the when you're talking about Ortiz, that he got outboxed by Ortiz, you know, people make fun of the fact people getting outboxed. Remember, Wilder got outboxed by Ortiz up until the knockouts. But you have to remember, people keep saying, "Oh, Ortiz is an old man." I don't know. He might be a little bit older than he is, but the fact is, he is Cuban amateur boxing schooling, so he has skills. So this man's skill set is very high level. Like Ortiz is high level amateur pedigree. That's why he was able to outbox Wilder until he got knocked out. He outboxed Ruiz for the most part and won most of the rounds, other than the knockdown. So he's always going to be able to beat you on rounds base because he's got the Cuban schooling, and you ain't beating the Cuban schooling, unfortunately. So you're going to have to clap him out if you are going to beat someone like Luis Ortiz. So with Ruiz, but the other thing with Ruiz, you have to go back to the fight before when he had the all Mexican dust up with Areola. He got dropped by Areola, who Wilder just kind of slapped about for fun, really. Big up Tyson, big up my cousin Craig Richards as well.
Big up Craig, what you saying, bro?
Yeah.
Craig's my guy still.
I was going to come looking for you last night. After I finished work, I didn't think to call you. I just went home to watch the boxing. I should have rang you and then tried to go to whatever the motive after or whatever, but next time. But yeah, then so with he got dropped by Areola, so that's showing me you can't really take a Wilder punch. So yeah, I see Ruiz getting taken out, and then with the Usyk one, yeah, if Wilder catches him, he'll go. Usyk's a good boxer, so if he's able to use his boxing skills, so it's an interesting one. That one, that'll be interesting.
I think the thing with Usyk is the boxing IQ, because obviously, people like him would train a certain way to stay away from what Wilder's most, dangerous about. It's the same as like what he did to AJ, coming and meeting AJ in the middle. That obviously just ruined AJ's like game plan and his IQ, because obviously Usyk's been doing this for a very long time. If he was able to land that, I do think Usyk has got a good chin as well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's never really been tested because he's never let it be tested. Do you know what I mean? But if it was, I do think, I can't say 100%, but personally, I think he'd still carry on.
Yeah, but as they say in trade, the best chins is the ones that don't get hit. So
yeah. But I still want to see that AJ against Wilder fight, I think.
Yeah, of course. And I think they need to do that in Africa.
Yeah.
Since Wilder did a DNA test and it turns out he's Nigerian descent by DNA lineage from Edo State or something like that. So that would be a good little tribal. That would be a proper Wakanda with Wilder being, what's his name? Killmonger.
Yeah.
Regaining the African throne from T'Challa.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. No, that would be a good fight. I still think there's a bit of politics in the way of getting that done, because the politics in boxing is just, it's mad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah. So what's going on next week then? Fights there next week.
I'm not 100% sure, but the next big one that I'm looking forward to is Bivol against, what's my guy's
Ramirez.
name? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think Bivol will beat him on points.
Yeah.
Thurdo's big, but too slow.
Yeah.
Also, Paul Butler's fight in Inui, I don't see that going past 2-3 rounds. But guess what? Happy retirement fight, buddy.
Yeah, get your payday. But when I heard that was announced, I was just like, yeah, that is... Boxing's wild sometimes.
It's painful, but he's got a belt, so it's for the undisputed title.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when he gets old and grey, he can tell his grandkids, I fought for all 4 belts, and I fought the #1 guy, pound for pounder, the monster. So You can't take anything away from him, and
And
I'm sure he's going to get over £1 million.
yeah, the mad thing as well is obviously if he can maybe get to round 5, that's an achievement.
If he gets to round 5, to me, he's won.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
a win in itself.
Yes.
That's a win in itself to me. If he
Yeah.
gets to round 5, that's a win in itself because I can't see it going past 3, and he'd be
Yeah.
lucky to get out of first.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another interesting fight to watch. But my bro, I'm gonna jump off. Thank you for having me on. Always great to have a discussion about boxing, and this
Yeah,
weekend has just been amazing.
yeah, man, absolutely. Big up Aussie every
Uh,
time, man.
Big up, bro. I love the channel. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Love, man.
Love, bro.
Bless. And there you have it, guys. I think we've concluded this week's show, and so we're going off now. Make sure you take care. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave comments in the comment section, share, hit the thumbs up like button. You know, get the algorithms popping. Show love. You know what I mean? Come with love and not hatred. I'm joking. Have forgiveness and mercy shall follow thy all the days of our lives. I'm joking. But just hit the like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment in the comment section. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know what it is.